Once I turned 30, I feel like there was a real major shift. I was on some grown woman timing where I was like, I cannot care about how y'all feel. I can't care about how you view me on the other side of this screen. I have to care about how God sees me. Hey ladies, welcome back to Becoming Her, a Christian woman in her 30s. Today we are talking about something real. It might be slightly controversial, but hey, we're gonna be talking about beauty, nails, hair. Are these distractions in themselves? Are these stumbling blocks with our walk with Christ? Are they bad within themselves? We're going to be tackling those questions in this evening's conversation, so make sure y'all stay along and watch until the end. As always, remember that this channel, Simply Serene in general, is not about rules. It's never been about rules. It's always been about your relationship with Christ and how your relationship with Christ has changed how you live, how you love, how we show up as women of God in this season of our lives. So without further more to do, let's get into it. So I want to go ahead and start with a strong statement. It's to build the foundation that confidence is key here. We're not going to get anywhere spiritually. We're not going to get anywhere financially. We're not going to get anywhere mentally, physically, until we stop caring about what other people think of us. Period. Because as long as our identity is built on performance, on perception, how somebody is viewing us, we are never going to find peace. We're always going to be worried about how we're acting. Is this fitting the mold for today? We're going to be focused on the next hairstyle. What's the next purse? What's the next brand? It just keeps going, and we're in this never-ending cycle. So in order to find peace, we have to stop caring. And I had to learn that. And I think once I turned 30, I feel like there was a real major shift. I was on some grown woman timing where I was like, I cannot care about how y'all feel. I can't care about how you view me on the other side of this screen. I have to care about how God sees me, how am I honoring Him, and how is our personal relationship. I really feel like I set that foundation in my late 20s when I cut my hair off. That was the first start of, I don't care. I'm not keeping up with the weaves, the braids. I don't care right now. I gotta focus on me, the internal struggle that I'm going through, the growth that I'm going through, and my relationship with Christ. So that was a whole journey that I had. But here's where the balance comes in with getting our nails done and getting our lashes done and seeking after those things. It's not bad in itself. The problem is when we do it out of spiritual order. And let me explain. If you're skipping your tithes and offerings, you're not paying your tithes and offerings on Sabbath when you go to church, just so that you can pay for a full set, that's a problem. If you only have $20 left at the end of the 2 weeks because you just had to get your hair done, that too is a problem. That's not practicing modesty. That's plain out simple mismanagement. That's spending before pausing. That's dressing for attention before dressing with purpose and dignity. That is seeking compliments. Y'all know it. Seeking compliments before seeking conviction. We have to be so real with ourselves that we cannot expect kingdom blessings when we are operating in worldly order instead of honoring God. If y'all are new to this channel, you know that I always say it's never thus saith Ken, it's always thus saith the Lord. It's a little fun joke that I say because I want to always back it up with some type of biblical grounding. So today we're going to really hone in on Proverbs 31:30. And it says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. We're going to break down this verse in each section. So charm is the way someone acts. It's the way someone dresses or presents themselves to attract attention. They said that is deceptive. So just because you have on a nice dress, you look really up to par, classy, everything is on point, that's still deceptive. Why? Let's keep going. Beauty is fleeting. You're not going to be the it girl. You're not going to be the fly girl. You're not going to be the baddie forever. So relying on your beauty is completely unstable and temporary. Everything's not gonna sit up the way it always sat up. Everything's not gonna be on point. So don't rely on that. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Fearing the Lord just basically means honoring God above all else. Honoring God first before you do your self-care. So even though the pressure from the world is to look put together, your nails, your hair, your purse, your just everything, your makeup, everything's on point. The Bible reminds us that that is secondary. All of that put together on the outside is secondary. It cannot sustain the real you underneath. It can't. It's all about heart posture. We have to learn to enjoy our beauty, even if we enhance it. We have to learn to enjoy it as a gift from God. We cannot idolize it. I don't know if you guys remember, but we used to sing hymns back in church. And there's this old hymn, and it's "On Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand." I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that song is so true. Because today we have a lot of people saying, "I stand on business," or "I stand on self-love," or "I stand on being that girl." But let me tell you something. Anything you stand on that's not Christ is sinking sand. You can stand on beauty, but what happens when you age? You can stand on your success, but what happens when the job is gone? You can even stand on your relationship, but what happens when or if that person leaves you? See, every foundation that is not built on Christ is going to crumble, because when the storms of life hit, when the true you is revealed, and it will be revealed, you'll realize you were standing on something that couldn't hold you. When you build your confidence, your self-worth, your identity on nails, hair, clothes, name brands, it's not sustainable. But when you build your confidence, your self-worth, your identity on Jesus first, that's the rock that will not move. So when people say I stand on business, I say I stand on Christ. When people say I stand on being her, I say I stand on being his. And ultimately, that's what Proverbs 31:30 is really saying. Charm, beauty, status, all of it is sinking sand. But the fear of the Lord is solid rock. That's what gives you weight. That's what gives you stability. And that's what gives you peace. God does care about your heart, and he cares about your habits. And a lot of us have these rituals that we do every Friday or every other Friday. Hair, filling for your nails, get your hair done, get your toes done, get your lashes done. And then we call up our girls, we go to dinner, and then we hit the club. These are habits that God cares about, because a lot of the times we did not set aside money for him. We did not set aside time to spend with him. We did not set aside helping the needy. It was just all indulged in ourselves. And something I do want to highlight, because I know someone in the comments is going to say that I'm against beauty. But there's no way that I'm against beauty, because God is not against beauty. God created beauty, and we can look at the world and see that. But he is against disorder. And I say this respectfully, but a lot of us have a disorder. Our priorities, our finances, our hearts are all out of alignment. It's all out of alignment. Now, if you are doing all that God asked you, you're living in your calling, you're tithing, you're giving, you're serving, you're being a good steward of what you do have, and you still have the means to take care of yourself, then do it. It's okay, do it. That's not where the sin lies. But let's be real, most of us don't do it in the right order. We care too much about looking blessed instead of actually being blessed. I'm going to scream this one. We care too much about what people think instead of how God thinks of us. And that's how we stay stuck. We stay stuck in the never-ending cycle of spending and spending and spending and spending and spending on us, and forgetting all around us. People who are suffering, people who need us, people who we can help. So just a reminder, check your order. God first, stewardship second, then self-care. And I'm going to say this one more time for my sisters in the back. There is nothing wrong with looking beautiful. God made beauty. He made colors. He made detail, creativity. reflects who he is. But when it becomes your idol, you lose sight of the one who made you beautiful. You're blinded by all of the worldly additions that you added. And quite frankly, we don't have to prove our worth to anybody. We already have our worth from Christ. Think of it like this. Sometimes we as women feel like that we have to do all of these things to please our husband. Cook every night, look perfect, have the house together, manage every little thing. And in the process, we forget to actually enjoy them. We forget that, oh, they're right here. I'm too busy cleaning and too busy fixing everything up. And I fall into that category. I had a friend, we used to chat a lot, and she would always say how she was literally exhausted all the time because she just felt like she had to perform and be this perfect wife for her husband. She was all into getting her waxes done, her laser hair removal, her nails, her hair, her outfits, her Pinterest perfect meals. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this used to be me. I don't know, am I talking about my friend or myself? But it was every single day. And her husband, lo and behold, he did not even care about all of that, at least to the extent that she was caring about it. He loved his wife. That's why he married her. He loved her for her presence, her laughter. She was a really funny girl. Her heart, the things on the inside, the things that can't be bought, the things that can't be curated. So she was so busy chasing approval that she didn't notice that her husband was right there all along, loving her exactly how she was. I feel like this is what happens when we chase validation in life, whether it's from a man or chasing validation through our social media, our Instagram, searching for validation in our coworkers and our managers, or even validation from other women. Oh, do I fit into this group? Do I fit into that group? We're so busy performing that we miss that we already blessed. God is saying to us, you already have worth, you already have blessing, and you don't have to prove it. So once we stop performing, we can really start enjoying life, our relationships, our calling, and even blessings. Ladies, next week we are diving into a whole nother heart check because that's what this is about, y'all. We're going to be talking about loving yourself God's way and not the world's way. All of these messages are connected into Modesty Journey. So stick around, y'all, because it's about to get deep. I think you guys are about to be super blessed with this series. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.